Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Cooper Gretsch, the sole admin of AFL Information, Trader Rumours and Results, Season 3, Episode 6. If you're watching here on YouTube or on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. As of this recording, we're at 2,048 subscribers. We'll greatly appreciate it. Hopefully, we can get to 2,050 by the end of this episode. I would greatly appreciate that. I would also aim to get at least 20 likes for this video. Share the video out with your mates. I would greatly appreciate it. Our big agenda on Scoops Goes Bang today and on the show in general, but on Scoops Goes Bang, I'm going to be banging on about the disrespect shown by North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, or for the fans in general towards Jason Horne-Francis, Ken Hinkley's response. And something that's not also being talked about, and a few other things as well, including the thing that's not getting talked about as much as it should be, and it's Reuben Ginbey getting kicked in the face, accidentally or not, by Patrick Dangerfield. I'm going to show the photo of that shortly. I would show the footage, but the video will get blocked. So I'll show you the photo, screenshot of it. And the Anthony Caminiti, Nathan Murphy incident, I'm going to be explaining why Nathan Murphy is the one in the wrong. Well, more in the wrong than what people say he is. Okay, I'm going to go through that too. I got my Supercoach talk, the team of the week, Scoops medal, and I'm going to preview the rounds just gone and upcoming. Unfortunately, my Saints had their first loss just by 6 points against the Pies, but it's okay. We'll go through that shortly. Just remember, guys, we're still on the top of the ladder. We're still on top of the ladder. Don't believe me? Look at the screen right now. That says the Saints are on top. On the top of the world. There you go. If you couldn't see there, the Eagles and the Hawks at the bottom. The Saints are on top. Still on top of the world. But it's okay. The Saints will move on. We'll play the Blues at Marvel on Sunday. It's okay. Something I want to start off with is this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Merch, I'm still working this out. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As I said before, I would greatly appreciate it. And donations, the Dono War, as I like to call it with my mates here on the YouTube channel, the Dono War will be officially be able to begin on my channel very, very shortly, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I would say roughly within that 2-week time frame. It's been about a week or two, and I'm meant to receive it within 2 to 4 weeks. So very close is the donation war. A good friend of mine will be commentating the Dono War during our live streams when there's a dono and when he is on. But regardless of that, now, please welcome that world famous segment, and it is world famous. Scoops Goes Bang. Boom. Oh boy. Now, as I said, I was going to show the footage of Ken Hinkley's post-match presser in response to the Jason Horne-Francis treatment by the media, fans, North Melbourne fans and fans in general. Do I agree with Ken? I do to some degree, and I don't. Where he said it was a brave move. That's the part I don't really. It was a brave move to leave. Players, I understand, Ken, that players leave, and I know you're defending your players, and there's nothing wrong with that. Kane Corns is one of the biggest hypocrites in regards to this matter. He denies it, but he is. And his double stands with Ginnivan and Sheasel and players like that, where he has a different tone, but for the Horne-Francis ones, like, calm it down, fellas. Fair enough to Kane to say calm it down, but when you've done it to other players in the similar age bracket, it's very hypocritical. Again, I would show the Sunday Footy Show response from Kane, but I can't do that because the video will probably get blocked. It's annoying. I was loving to reincorporate more of these audio clips and video clips in, but the YouTube striking down they're removing the videos or striking them. So I'm not going to do that. No, I've not received copyright strikes. We just had the videos removed. So I'm not going to show that. But Kane, you need to lift your game. To the fans that disrespect Horne-Francis, I would understand the North Melbourne fans to a degree. You're talking about him leaving. But if you're going to get personal, then that's where you draw the line. That is not acceptable. I would be disappointed if I was North too after leaving for 1 year. They invested a lot in him. And it was more, not so much, well, it is that, but also the ice bath incidents and I suppose the incidents he did where he was lazy and the attitude during games, having to go at North experience place. I think it was Goldstein one game in the Zeebles. So I understand it'll be interesting to see though when they play the Power this season, how they go north and port in terms of the Horne-Francis things. I'm sure that'll be a hot topic again that week. But I do agree with you very much so. Maybe not that it was a brave move. Look at Ollie Henry, please. It was homesick, Ollie Henry. It was in the same state. Geelong and Melbourne. I'm in Geelong, so I know how far it is. It's only 45 minutes. That is not even that sometimes. The Ollie Henry one, I would understand. Collingwood fans being pissed off about. Horne-Francis one's a little bit different. Ollie Henry was homesick because he wanted to play at Geelong with his brother, Jack. That is exactly why. I'd be more annoyed at Ollie Henry than I would be at Jason Horne-Francis, let's put it this way. So, to the fans, media in general that are ripping in Horne-Francis too much, you need to lift your game. Pathetic. I agree with Ken, the majority of what he said, except for that brave comment. It's a brave move to leave. Now, this one, Reuben Ginbey and Patrick Dangerfield. Now, this is not getting as much publicity as it should. Remember when Toby Green did the foot one on Dale House, and Toby Green had some other incidents similar to this, and he got crucified by the media? Well, let's look at this. Yesterday, Reuben Ginbey, you can see the circle there, was getting super kicked in a way by Dangerfield. Now, was it intentional? Maybe, maybe not. But that has got to be looked at as well. Now, as of this recording, it hasn't. It'll probably end up being a fine. But what I'm more pissed off about is why is it not getting talked about? Oh, that's right. It's Patrick Dangerfield, one of the AFL's favourite players they got to suck up to. It's ridiculous. It really, really is. I mean, he should get a week. Toby Green got crucified. And Dangerfield's not really getting crucified. Matty King, David King, Joey Montagna, and Brad Johnson were discussing a little bit. They were kind of split with this. They reckon it's going to be a fine. I think David King, said it should be a week, but they won't do it. And it should be a week. But they won't do it because it's not Toby Green. And it's Dangerfield, one of their favourite, one of the most protected players in the competition. That should be a week. They should be making a stand on that. They did it to Toby Green. There you go again. Ginbey. And he got subbed off. Bit of managed minutes and an eye injury, which led from that as well. So Dangerfield should be getting a week. Pretty plain and simple. Lift your game. Now, Anthony Caminiti and Nathan Murphy incident. Now, people are going, Caminiti, what a dog move. He's a you know this and you know that. He's none of that, what you think it is. It's Collingwood fans that are ripping into him for no reason. You don't believe me. And you all saying, Scoops, Caminiti's was a dog act. He's a dog. He's not a dog. He's not a dog act. It's called don't start shit you can't finish. And this is what I am talking about. I'm just getting the clip. Here we go.
Push and shove.
So, what Nathan Murphy was the one that started it. Okay, they took him off with concussion because he's got a history and they wanted to be conservative. Was Caminiti going to get suspended in some way? Probably. Should he? Well, he didn't punch him in the face. The people saying that he punched Murphy in the face are talking shit. He did not punch him in the face. He retaliated to Murphy starting it. If you don't believe me, again, watch the...
Push and shove.
Murphy started it, punching him in the gut. And Caminiti stood up for himself. Now, he got him high, sure. Did he punch him in the face? No. The people that are saying it's 4 weeks' worth on the Caminiti's side is talking shit. If this gets any more than a week or two, they will have something to answer for. And then St Kilda should have the balls to appeal it. Now, the Brett Ratten era probably wouldn't have appealed it. So if Caminiti gets anything over a week, the Saints should appeal it. Murphy punched Caminiti in the gut or around the stomach region. I know Murphy's going to mix a week of concussion, but he should be labelled as a week suspension as well. Plain and simple. So, and Nathan Murphy, you've seen footage of him having a go at Caminiti on the bench, going you, and all this crap. Like he's gonna hit him. Now they did shake hands after the game and all that. That was probably told. They were probably told to, but Murphy is no better in this incident than what Caminiti did. Murphy started it. And it's always a retaliator that gets punished. How about you punish the person who started it? And it wasn't just a push and shove. Murphy punched Caminiti in the gut first. Yes, he retaliated. And Murphy moving his head, he kind of moved into the push or the whack into him. If Caminiti gets more than 2 weeks, there'll be another video on this. AFL, Nathan Murphy, need to lift your game. I'm saying the AFL need to lift their game because I know exactly what they're going to do, and it is not worth anything more than 2 weeks. And if they do, there'll be a separate rant video on this. Caminiti stood his ground. Nathan Murphy, you need to lift your own game. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. What are your thoughts on all those 3 incidents? Ginbey's boot from Dangerfield, the Horne-Francis Pinkley North fans media treatment, and the Nathan Murphy Caminiti incident. If you're just going to say Caminiti's a dog and everything like that, you're just irrelevant to me, and I'm not going to even bother answering you. Explain why. If you're going to say why it's worth something, explain why, like I just did then. Don't say, it's 4 weeks because he punched him in the face. He didn't punch him in the face. Forget about that. He did not punch him in the face. That's full of shit. He maybe got him around the neck or chin. He did not punch him in the face. He did not. Right. Okay. Now let's move on to my round 5 AFL team of the week. Now, before we do that, actually, I just want to get the ladder back up. Actually, before we do that, gather round. It's been announced from Gillon McLachlan and the SA Premier that gather round will be in Adelaide for the next 3 years. I'm surprised it was the next 3 years because it was being reported that it would only be a year. Damo and a few others are saying it would definitely be in gather round next year, which is right. But the 3 years, gee, that's a big step. The question I have of it being 3, the only question is, it was good, it was fantastic, but it was the first installment. When you go the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, it's the same outcome what the AFL are going to expect now since it happened the first time. It's going to happen 2, 3, the second, third, and fourth year. You don't know that. It was the first installment. It's like if you say WrestleMania, WWE reference here, they're going to get packet every single year. Yeah, 90,000 one year, 80,000. So you see that swap and change depending on what city it's in. But it just all depends on the matchups, everything like that. Sure, you're going to get a lot of people. Sure, the smaller grounds are going to be filled up. But you can say the same for the game if you played it in Perth. You play Optus Stadium as the Adelaide Oval comparison for Adelaide, for Perth. And you play at some of the waffle grounds like Subiaco or West Perth or East Perth or someone like that. You can play there where Norwood's ground is the waffle ground for the waffle in WA, what SA was for Norwood. And then you could even have a local ground if you need to. But yeah, that's just a question I have. It should maybe fair enough for another year. 3, bit of an overstretch for right now because you want to see how the second year, if it backs it up. Depends on the crowd, depends on the weather, it depends on all that. In Perth, you can rely on the most for good weather and not raining. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Now, guys, it's time for my round 5 AFL team of the week. Okay, and I'll explain my reasons after. From the back line, the pockets, Nick Blakey and Callum Wilkie. Fullback, Nick Murray. Half back line, the flankers, Nick Dacos and Jack Sinclair. Centre half back, Josh Battle. Wingman, Jordan Dawson and Caleb Sarong. Centreman, Lockie Neal. Half forward line, David Swallow and Darcy Fogarty. Centre half forward, Joe Danaher. Forward pockets, Lockie Schultz and Tom Papley. Full forward, Eric Hipwood. The ruckman, Riley O'Brien. Rovers, Rory Laird and Brad Crouch. Interchange, Clayton Oliver, Zach Butters, Toby Green, Tim English, and the sub, Jai Newcomb. Now, I've added a sub this round purely because this round, I wrote a note here. There's been in this round alone, there was 23 guys, 23 players who kicked 3+ goals. That's unheard of, guys. 23 players kicked that many goals. 23 players for the round. 23 players scored 3+ goals. Now, the reason why I got a long emergency list because there's 23 players with 3+ goals. So I basically included almost the majority of them. So this is my emergency list, a long one. Sean Darcy, Charlie Cameron, Michael Walters, Ben Keys, Jack Lukosius, Chad Warner, Darcy Parish, Jaden Stevenson, Rowan Marshall, Jake Waterman, Oscar Allen, Jeremy Cameron, and Chase Jones. Now, the reasons I'm going to go through now, as I said, 23 players get 3+ goals. So somebody's going to be stiff, okay? So what I took into account was 23 players. Okay, that's clearly you can't have all of them. There's going to be only about 6 you can put in, 6, 7, 8 max, okay? Then you got to eliminate the process. So how I did that was I went, okay, who kicked the goals when? What time of the game they were? Was it impactful? And you've got to have a certain quota. So there's 23 forwards. The 23 forwards I've got to put in. So what I did was I went, okay, the key forwards. Let's just say there was 10 of them. You can't have more than 3 or 4. So you eliminate from that group. You look at how well they went. So Danaher and Hipwood. In terms of the key forwards, with Darcy Fogarty, were the best 3 to pick from. And Tim English was dominating the ruck, is playing that second ruck role with Riley O'Brien. The rucks was the same problem. There's about 6 rucks I could have picked between Rowan Marshall, Tim English, Sean Darcy, Riley O'Brien. There were so many ruckmen I could have chose between as well. There were 6 in total of the rucks I could have chose between. So again, I had to fit one. Well, I didn't have to, but I fit one of them. And English can play forward too if need be, which I feel is his better position, to be honest. So then you go the key forwards. I thought Danaher, Fogarty, and Hipwood were the best 3. Then all those other guys, like Cameron was good, but he kicked a lot of his goals late, which is why I didn't put him in the team. Yeah, any other week he'd be in. But as I said, 23 players with 3+ goals. A lot of those guys had multiple bags of goals with 20+. I suppose Tapley as an example. And Dave Swallow kicked 3 with 20. He had to be in. It was a key reason why the Suns were in the game for the first 3 quarters and even still a chance at the end. Papley and Schultz were the best 2 small forwards. Again, Michael Walters was pretty stiff. Had a great game, was a key part while they won, but Schultz had 3 or 4 goals, 20 disposals, so he had to be in. Toby Green, 3-4 with 23, he had to be in on the bench, so he was ahead of Walters as well. Ben Keys 3 and 16 was a key part. When the Crows were having that, when it was closer and the Crows got away, Ben Keys was one of the reasons why that was happening. So I really wanted to put him in, but I couldn't because of Schultz, Green, and all those other smaller Papley, Schultz, and those small forwards, so he couldn't go in. Shaq Lukosius was dominating, had 12 marks, 19 disposals, 1 goal, 4. Had he kicked straight, it would have been very hard not to include him as well. I mean, any other week, I probably still would have put him in. But again, the goal accuracy was the reason why I didn't put him in, because there's so many options to pick from. So it's a very hard list, as I said. So I looked at who they played or how the game was playing when they kicked goals. So Oscar Allen kicked 4 and had about 15 disposals. Good game. We kicked the goals when the game was dead. So I didn't include. And Jake Waterman kicked 1-1 and 11 disposals in the first half. He can probably blame his side for not getting in team of the week. Had they had a closer game, he probably was a shoo-in again. And he kicked 4-1 with 20 disposals. Great game. Shows how stiff the competition was this round. Jane Stevenson kicked 4 and was a consistent performer for the Roos when they were terrible. But again, his side cost him a spot. Jeremy Cameron kicked 4 with 18. Hawkins was similar as well. They were good. Again, the goals were when the game was gone. So it's harsh, I know. And then for the midfielders, it's the same reasons. Not the same reasons necessarily. They're a bit more different. With Parish, Chad Warner all had great games. Zach Merida, I don't even have it on the list, had a good game. Chase Jones off the half-back line had a good game. So that's through all the forwards. So the Laird and Crouch. Laird, 37 disposals, 1 goal, 2 lot of clearances, was a shoe-in. Brad Crouch, 2 goals, 32 disposals, like 10 clearances, 8 or so tackles. Was the best player on the ground for the Saints. He was freaking awesome. And he has been completely underrated, Brad Crouch, this season, and he deserves more respect because he's not getting it from even the coaches and the coaches' votes. Crouchy's had a ripper year. He's slimmed down, and he's having even more of an impact. Still always getting the possessions, as he always has. He's having a bigger and better impact than previous years, but he's still been pretty good in those years as well. And Riley O'Brien I picked over Sean Darcy and Tim English, and I explained why already. So going back to the flankers, the back line, and wing, I'll go through the wingers, sorry. Dawson and Sarong, I know they played 99% mid. They're both capable of playing wing. There was no standout wingman, so I had to put him in. It's plain and simple. I had to put him in. And Neil was awesome. 1 goal as well, 38 odd possessions, a lot of clearances, contested possessions, high efficiency. He was a shoe-in to get in the team of the week. Now, the back line was a bit easy to do. Cal Wilkie, about 20 odd disposals, about 80 intercept marks. He was freaking awesome. He was a rock. His opponent didn't do much. He was fantastic, Cal Wilkie. The Saints backline was very strong, hence why Battle and Sinclair were there as well. Sinclair had like 90% efficiency with his 28 disposals, 31 disposals, so he had to be in. Josh Battle, like 13 marks, 22 odd possessions for a key defender, intercept defender. He had really good game like Wilkie, so they had to get in. Dacos, 4 goals, 42 disposals. When you get 40, you're automatically in, like Clayton Oliver was on the bench. Zach Buzz had a good game there, and Toby Green, I mentioned before. And Newcomb, I'll get to the reason why I had his sub. In a second, Blakey, great game off rebound, off high 90% efficiencies as well with 30 disposals. Service spot on the team was automatic there. Key part to their win, the Swans over Richmond. Nick Murray and Cal Wilkie were the best 2 key defenders in the round, with Josh Battle had a lot of 1%ers as well. And Charlie Curnow and Mackay didn't do too much. I know they both hit 2. I would say that's a win for Nick Murray and the Crows. Now, the reason I put John Newcomb as the sub, as I said, there were so many good players in the round. Someone had to. I just wanted to add an extra player, have one less stiff player in the team. John Newcomb kicked a goal with 31. Was a key part while the Hawks were in the game throughout the whole game. And I wanted to make him sub because I couldn't have another tall forward in the team. So he was a midfielder for me, and that next midfielder was Newcomb. Oliver, 41. Melbourne lost, I know, but he had a big game and he had a big say for his own performance. And Butters had a really good game. In the midfield was a key part into Port having a close win over the Western Bulldogs. And then again, there's the messages there. Darcy Cameron, Walters, Ben Keys, Lukosius Parrish, Chad Warner, Jane Stevenson, Rowan Marshall, Jake Waterman, Oscar Allen, Jeremy Cameron, and Chase Jones, who had a pretty good game, 1 goal and 28. One of his probably his best game in his career. Now, what do you guys think of my heavily debated team of the week? It was very, very hard to do. Now, let's go through reviewing the round 5 games. It was an interesting round at Gather Round. All the games, as you all know, were in Adelaide, and it will be for the next 3 years, as I mentioned before. But it started all the way back on Thursday night at the Adelaide Oval. It was the Crows having a big win over the Blues, 118-62, Crows by 56. What can I say? It was a great win for the Crows. Keys, Fogarty, Walker, Laird, all great for the Blues, for the Crows. The Blues suffered their first official loss at the draw, and it was a shellacking, and Michael Voss will need to go to the drawing board. Mark Pitnet may not play against the Saints this week, but we'll have to wait and see. There. Friday at Norwood Ovals, the Dockers and the Suns, close game. The Dockers 100, Suns 90. Close game. The Suns were doing pretty well for 2.5 quarters. The Dockers late in the third were doing well, even last quarter, and they got some late goals. Walters, Schultz, all pretty good there. The Suns really need Jared Witts back. Ned Moore was not ready. And Sean Darcy had a field day against him. Richmond and Sydney, 122. The Swans defeated Richmond 78 by 44 points. Big win. Warner, Chad Warner, Corey had his first game. Will Gould was the sub, came on early in the second quarter. He finally made his debut 4 years in the making, the Supercoach. God is Will Gould. Everyone wanted him in his debut year. Was going to play round 1 and didn't because of an injury. Then he could hardly get a game since in terms of being named emergency. So basically Will Gould finally get a game, did okay. In the absence of the McCartans and Rampies down back, he had to get a game, surely. And Malikin was injured, so he had to get a game. Chad Warner, Corey played his first game, kicked a goal, good for right under him. But yeah, the Swans had a great win, and Richmond fans getting really salty. Damien Hardwick's getting salty. You mad, bro? I think it's all done for Richmond. And what do you guys think about Trent Cotchin? Comment down below. I believe he's getting the Joel Selwood treatment in terms of sub-managed early part of the season. You'll see it again and again and again. You've seen the trend with Selwood and he retired. This will be the same for Trent Cotchin. You can screen grab this. Trent Cotchin, this will be his last season. And the same can go for Jack Riewoldt. And I don't think they'll be making finals this year at this stage, the way they're performing. We'll move on to the Saturday games. At the Adelaide Hills, the Lions 152 spanked the Roos 77, Brisbane by 75. Even a quarter time, and then after that, it just went down to the shitter for the Roos and Clarko. Stevenson kicked 4, had a good game, but that was about it for the Roos. Charlie Cameron, Joe Danaher, Eric Hipwood, all had fantastic games with Lockie Neal. They all round had a pretty good game, and so did Harris Andrews, unlucky. The upset of the round, the Bombers and the Demons. Ben Brown was a laid out, no lever as well. 77 Melbourne, 104 the Bombers. Essendon by 27. 5 goals in the first half between the two ruckmen, Sam Draper and Andrew Phillips for the Bombers. So it was a key part of them getting the win. Zach Merritt and Parrish were pretty good. For the Demons, Clayton Oliver, as always, was good, but didn't have many other friends to follow him. Port Adelaide and the Bulldogs. Port Adelaide 70, Bulldogs 56, Port by 14. Butters and Rosie had a better second half of the game. Butters was pretty good. And there's an all-round good team effort for the for the Power. And sorry, Bev, for the Bulldogs copped another donut, another loss. The Sunday games, the Cats and the Eagles, 136 to 89 for the Eagles. Geelong by 47. Not good for the Eagles, not good again, but all the players are out, unfortunately, for them. Yo came back in the second game. Shuey should be back next week. Elijah Hewitt hurt himself, his ankle in the twos, and Simo said he'll have scans on that, so they could lose another player. They only had 4 players, including Hewitt, playing in the twos on the weekend. They're copping injuries. McGovern, Hearn should be back after being managed, but McGovern, Ryan, Cripps, you probably won't see them. They won't be there for a long time, along with some other players. It should be a while until they come back. So they're going to they'll probably finish bottom 2, or they will finish bottom 2 with the Hawks. I think you can guarantee that. Now we move on to the Giants-Hawks. What a great game this was. GWS by 2 points. Harry Himmelberg with a Mark of the Year contender. He already got a Mark of the Year contender in round 1. He should win. One or the other, pick and choose. Whatever one you like. Harry Himmelberg, it was absolutely great to see. He hit the late goal, then he kicked the small jam, and he was so close. And Himmelberg on the line again. Kicks the winning goal with a minute and a half to go. The Hawks look like they might come back and win. But Himmelberg says, he is the hero. He's out of contract and will be in demand. The Giants must keep Harry Himmelberg. With Hogan and Cadman and Himmelberg, it's a dangerous forward line in the future. They need to keep Harry Himmelberg. And Riccardi's there as well if they need. So they need to keep Harry Himmelberg being high in demand. That's something the Saints should look at to play up forward with Memory and King. Now, the next game. Keep going on the Giants Hawks. 77 to 75, Giants by 2 points. Good win for the Giants. The Hawks kept pushing them. Good win in a pressure situation. The Giants needed that win. The Hawks, if they won, would have been great for their confidence. But the Giants needed more, and Adam Kingsley was happy, as you could tell, after the game, especially with Harry Himmelberg. Final game of the round, it was my Saints and the Pies. Unfortunately, the Saints lost by 6 points, 70 to 64. You have to lose one eventually. It's okay. It's only a close loss. It wasn't like we were smacked. Brett Ratton's side would have been nowhere near this contest. It's great to see. Ross was smiling at the end when we had a chance to win. That's why. Was when it was 4 goals with 2 minutes left. You thought, it's not happening. And then 19 points. It came around with a minute 30 odd to go. Saints went bang, bang, Crouchy. Caminiti as well. So We're in it. Filippo had a great game, and as of this recording, the Rising Stars may notice he must have the Rising Star. 1 goal, 19 disposals, high efficiency. Had a great game, my man Filippo. All aboard the Filippo train. Get a nice goal from 50 metres out. Went bang, indeed. Great goal from Filippo. Brett Crouch, awesome. 2 and 32. Freaking great. Cal Wilkie, 24 odd disposals. About 11 marks. Same with Battle. Similar stats. They were both at rock down in defence. So with Sinclair. Crouch was great. As I said, Filippo was pretty good. Hopefully we will get Tim Membry back. He playing the twos on Sunday. Getting back to the AFL this week against the Blues, along with the man of steel, the skipper, Jack Steele. 2 huge inclusions for the clash against the Blues, who will very likely be without Mark Pitnet. So Tom De Koning will have to be their main ruck. Again, but disappointing for the Pies. Nick Dacos was obviously good. Josh was also good. Josh Dacos, his brother. I thought Billy Frampton was okay. Dan McStay went off early, injured with a finger injury. So another tall guy they lose. But unfortunately for the Saints, there was a lot of chains we got out the back and everything like that. But there was always a smother. I think at one point in the game, there was 17-6 smothers. And I think that's a key reason why the Pies won. Had that not happened, the Saints should have won. Because a lot of time, the Pies defended well with Moore and Quainer in particular. Our defence was rock solid, and theirs was as well. So it was one through the midfield, and Elliott and Myercheck and Ginnivan kicked some late goals, which got them that 4-goal buffer late. And then the Saints came back and said Crouch, etc. Caminiti, it was nerve-wracking. And then 51 seconds, I'd be like, good goal. We could actually win this. And we went inside 50. Was it a free to Mitch Owens? Probably not, but it could have been given. I didn't expect them to, but I thought they could have given it, but they didn't. But it's okay. It's one game. It's one game. And last time I checked, people are like, oh, the Saints are done. They finally play a real team. They lost. What's that ladder say, gents? Ladies and gents? Saints are on top. Still, yeah, we're still on top. If you're like, oh, well, you're not going to be there for long. I don't care. I never said we were going to stay on top. Just so great to see you guys salty that the Saints are on top. If you think the Saints are no good, then what the hell are the other 17 teams? Because again, look, it says we're on top. So what's that say for the rest then? If we suck, what does it mean for the rest? Anyway, now that was reviewing round 5. Now it's time to go through the Scoops medal. My Scoops medal, round 6 votes. I'm getting reenacted like the great Gillan McLaughlin. Round 5, Adelaide v Carlton. Adelaide, Jay Dawson, 1 vote. Adelaide, R. Laird, 2 votes. Adelaide, D. Fogarty, 3 votes. Fremantle v Gold Coast. Fremantle, S. Darcy, 1 vote. Gold Coast, D. Swallow, 2 votes. Fremantle, C. Sarong, 3 votes. Richmond v Sydney. Sydney, N. Blakey, 1 vote. Sydney, C. Warner, 2 votes. Make that Chad Warner. Sydney, T. Papley, 3 votes. Brisbane v North Melbourne. Brisbane, E. Hipwood, 1 vote. Brisbane, Al Neal, 2 votes. Brisbane, J. Danaher, 3 votes. Essendon v Melbourne. Essendon, Z. Merritt, 1 vote. Essendon, D. Parish, 2 votes. Melbourne, C. Oliver, 3 votes. Port Adelaide v Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs, C. Waitman, 1 vote. Port Adelaide, Z. Butters, 2 votes. Western Bulldogs, T. English, 3 votes. Geelong v West Coast. West Coast, O. Allen, 1 vote. Geelong, J. Cameron, 2 votes. West Coast, J. Waterman, 3 votes. GWS v Hawthorn. GWS, S. Canelio, 1 vote. Hawthorn, J. Newcomb, 2 votes. GWS, Toby Green, 3 votes. Collingwood v St Kilda. St Kilda, C. Wilkie, 1 vote. Collingwood, N. Dacos, 2 votes. St Kilda, B. Crouch, 3 votes. The leaderboard after round 5 is as follows. In 3rd place on 7 votes, Jack Sinclair. In second place. Sorry, I'll start that again. In 4th place on 7 votes, Jack Sinclair. In equal 3rd spot on 8 votes, Toby Green and Jeremy Cameron. In 2nd place on 11 votes, Nick Dacos. And in 1st place on 12 votes, Clayton Oliver. That is the Scoops Medal leaderboard after round 5, as you can see on the screen. Going through the individual game by games, the 3 votes in the Crows game was Darcy Fogarty. Fremantle Gold Coast, 3 votes was Caleb Sarong. He could do no wrong. 3 votes in the Swans match went to Tom Papley. In the Brisbane game, the 3 votes went to Joe Danaher. In the Demons clash, it went to Clayton Oliver. In the Port game, it went to Tim English. In the Geelong game, it went to Jake Waterman. In the Giants game, it went to Toby Green. To the Saints game, it went to Brad Crouch. So, yeah, the leaderboard is set after round 5. It's on the screen there. Let me know your thoughts down below of your 3, 2, 1 votes, what you would have done, what you would change. What do you think of it? Sound off in the comment section down below what you would have done. Now, let's go move to my Supercoach talk. Round 5, I scored 2,025, dropped from the top 12% to the top 28%. It may be panic stations right now. I'm still scoring the okay scores, but they're not great scores for me. The premiums are underperforming, and it's pissing me off. Because right now, I've just gone 3 boost trades. It's the Sinclair's going well and Sicily's are going well, but they're not scoring high for some reason. They're being robbed of points. You got Andy Brayshaw, similar boat, underperforming in score as well. It's ridiculous. Rosie, the same. Rowan Marshall, the same. It's just like, what the Zeeble, the same. Dunkley, the same. Like, what's wrong with these premium scores? They're getting the 90s and 103s. Those premiums should be getting 120. That's what's letting me down. The rookies, Sheasel, Filippo, Wilmot, McKenna, Chandler, all doing me well. Cam McKenzie, before he was subbed this week and scored 13 because he came on for half a game. So I've made 3 big trades, and these are what they are. Out, Cam McKenzie, Oscar Baker, and Reuben Ginbey. I had about 112K before these trades. So what I've done is given the sarsaparilla to Cam McKenzie, Oscar Baker, and Reuben Ginbey. Now, the 2 inclusions for Cam McKenzie and Oscar Baker on the bench, I did some forward swapping, forward mid-swap type stuff. So this is why they don't add up in terms of the ins and outs and position for position. I brought in Matt Roberts from the Swans into the forward line. I could swap around on field bench with Caminiti, Green, and him. But at the moment, I got him on the field. So I brought him in. And Matt Johnson, I don't really want them in, but they're the 2 rookies that you could get at the moment with the break even. So I got them in for now. I could change this by Friday night. There's no game on Thursday, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what I've done. But the big in, with that money on those 2 downgrades and the Cam McKenzie move and the Ginbey. So Ginbey's out. So that means in the defense, I brought in Jordan Dawson. I could have gone Caleb Sarong and done it as a midfielder instead, but I went to do the defender. So yeah, that's what I've done. Jordan Dawson is the major in. McKenzie, Baker, and Ginbey, Roberts, and Johnson will float between the forward and mid bench and last spot. So this is how my setup looks right now. The back lines are set. Dawson, Sinclair, Sicily, Nick Dacos, the big 4, basically. Then you got McKenna and Wilmot. I'm more confident with them. Eventually, I think it's 8 rookies on field now, or 7. And I want to keep downgrading that. So, and I've still got some money in the bank. I think it's 80K off the top of my head. So yeah, that's it. Defense, Cowan and Constable on the bench. That's fine. Laird, Brayshaw, Oliver, Neal. I've moved Rosie into the midfield part. DeGowie, Ashcroft, and Filippo. That looks a much stronger midfield on field. So having 3, because I was Baker and McKenzie and that on the ground. I'm like, McKenzie being sub has stuffed him with his break. He was major reason why Mackenzie's down. Well, he wasn't doing so bad. He would have still been going up a little bit. But yeah, in the mids bench, Noah Long, L1 David Jr., who was rested, which I was probably looking at taking him out, and Matt Johnson as well there. Rucks are still Witts and Marshall. If Witts doesn't play this week, I'm going to have to undo these changes, and it probably won't be half of what you see. So hopefully Witsy plays, because I don't want to play Ned Maul again. I've just had enough of playing that extra rookie as well. And playing 9 to 10 rookies around before this week. So that's just too many for me. It's half a team, pretty much. Dunkley, there, the four line may look a tad weaker, which is what I'll try and change in coming weeks. Dunkley, Zeeble, Sheasel, Chandler, and Matt Roberts, bench Fergus Green and Caminiti. Now that's the part I've got to fix up now, I think. If Rosie and Filippo in the midfield part now, I think this is the line I need to change in those underperforming mids of Brayshaw and that I look at, and Sicily and Sinclair, but they're not playing bad. So I'm in a tough spot whether I get rid of them. And do I just jump? I'm still thinking though. I'll put Dawson in, but should I save that extra 50k or so and not get Dawson? But he's scoring so well, and they play the Hawks. You don't necessarily do it for one game. But I'm still tossing and turning. What do you guys think? 650 is Jordan Dawson in Supercoach. Should I bother getting him? And instead of having about 60 to 80k left now, should I make it 120k and get somebody else? And or even make it a midfielder, and you just put Jimmy back in, and then I will work around the mechanics of it. But basically, get for a rookie, get a premium around the Caleb Sarongs and people like that. What do you guys think? What should I do? But if Witts is out, this is going to throw the whole bloody thing up in disarray. So I don't want to play Moyle again on field ever again this year. Ever again. Unless I'm out of trades in a position like that. See that light? I'm just going to shoo it away. Magic. It's back. Gone. It's back. Gone. Back. Gone. Back. Gone. Back. Magic. I'm good at magic. Oh, there we go. It's gone again. It's back. Deleted. Back. Deleted. Anyway, I'm sure Graz will clip that. Anyway, where are we? There you go. He's got his mention on the podcast the first time. Well done to you. While I mention it, Shano's my donation commentator for my Dono Wars. Shannon for my live stream, Shannon Humphreys. There you go, Shannon. But yeah, that's my Supercoach team. Now, what are we going to do now? We're going to preview round 6. If you want some advice on your Supercoach too, just shoot me a message on AFL Info Live on Instagram, or AFL Information, Trade Rumours and Results on Facebook. Or comment right now on the live stream while we're watching, and I'm monitoring the chat. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe button if you haven't already. I aim for 20 likes to this video. Now we're going to go preview round 6. It starts off on Friday night at Optus Stadium. Friday night, 8:10 Victorian time. It's the Dockers hosting the Bulldogs. I will be tipping the Dockers by about 15 points. Saturday, 1:45 at the Adelaide Oval. It's the Power hosting the Eagles, playing a simple Power will win easily by 40-odd points, if not more. Giants, Lions, 4:35 Saturday, Victorian time at Monaco Oval. I'm going the the Brisbane Lions by 30 points. Saturday night at GMHBA, it's Geelong hosting the Swans, 7:25 Vic time. I'll be going for the Swans. Got a real tough task this week. Geelong, they beat 2 bottom cellar dwellers, so see how they go against a real team. I know they're at home too, so we'll see how they go. The crowd will be different there because it's still being built up. Sunday, 1:10 at Utah Stadium. It's the Hawks hosting the Crows. The Crows will win by 40 points. Now the big clash, Sunday, 3:20. It's the Blues hosting my Saints, 3:20 Victorian time at Marvel Stadium. I'll be tipping the Saints Steel, and memory will be back. All hail the Captain Man of Steel is, Jack Steel. All hail the King. I was meant to say Max King, but he's still about 5 weeks away. Come on, Kingy. Want you back, mate. And the Blues will probably lose Mark Pitnet. Walsh came back last week against Adelaide. Just got out to their midfield, but I'm obviously going my Saints to get the win back. If they lose, it's not panic stations yet. It will still be 4-2 and still be in the top 4. So I'm fine there. The Blue 4:40 at Heritage Bank Stadium. It's Metricon for people that don't know. Suns hosting the Roos, 4:40 Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Suns there. Monday night, the Anzac Eve match, 7:25 Victorian time. Monday night, 7:25. The Demons hosting the Tigers. I'll be tipping Melbourne for sure by 30-odd points. Tuesday, Anzac Day, 3:20 at the MCG. It's the Pies hosting the Bombers. I'll be going the Pies by about 15 points. It will be without Dan McStay, though, and Nathan Murphy. Now, guys, my final thoughts are simply this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Merch is still in the works. We'll see what happens there. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll greatly appreciate it. As of this recording, we're at 2,048 likes. So go hit that like button and subscribe button and go smash the like button and subscribe and get your mates on board. Share these videos amongst your mates. I'm still working to get interviews too, guys, on my show. So don't think I'm never forgetting about getting interviews. I'm still pushing and pushing to get interviews. It's what I want to do the most for you guys, not only for myself, but for you guys. I love getting the players on, interacting with them. Hopefully get some more players on. And trust me, when I get some players on, there's some other elements outside of an interview that I'm trying to do with them for you guys. So just keep an eye out for that. There's another teaser that still pushing and pushing to see what can happen there. Thank you all for watching. Kick It to Scoops will very likely be on the Wednesday next week at this stage because of the Monday and Tuesday games. Or I might do it later Tuesday night. I don't know. It might not be 7 p.m. Tuesday night. It might be 8 p.m. or something like that. But Tuesday night at like 8 p.m. or Wednesday night at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I'll work that out. I'll let you guys know. But until one of those nights, everyone, have a great one. The most important thing of all to remember is go to the Saints and, of course, acknowledge me, the one, your tribal chief, the head of the table, Cooper Gritch. Go Saints.